Welcome to the Real Conversations podcast, the podcast dedicated to real stories from successful real estate professionals, with your host, Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to our second episode of Real Conversations, and I'm here with Wei Li. Wei Li of homepedia.com. He's one of our top agents here in the office, and I thought I'd bring him in and just get to know him. Welcome to the show.
I'm very thrilled to get a chance to talk to you and your followers on YouTube and multiple channels out there. But this is my first time doing a podcast, and I'm very impressed with the setup, with all the preparation work you did. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, you bet. So I thought we'd kind of go back to the beginning. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a small town in Inner Mongolia in China. So it's very northern, it's very cold. And we all need shelters in the winter time. So it was like a very frozen time during the winter time.
What kind of climate would that be like? Like Canada, like northern Canada kind of?
I would say it's more like East Coast Canada.
Okay.
Very cold, yeah.
Very cold.
Yeah.
So lots of snow?
Lots of snow, lots of ice, and traffic was horrible.
So tell me about the home you grew up in.
I was born in 1986. That was the time when China was going through a major wave of privatization. So in the past, it used to be all the common lands and common houses owned by the governments and rented out to the people. And I was fortunate because at the age of 2, I moved into a private home. And it was a building, 5-story, with only 400 square foot and 2 rooms and 1 bathroom, no shower, and small kitchen, tiny kitchen. Grew up there until I was 12 years old, and we moved to a larger house, a 3-bedrooms house. I was the only child of the family. I was the only child generation in China.
That's right. That was the one child. For how long did they have that policy?
I think I had it for almost 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and that ended how long ago?
I think 5-6 years ago, and China
5-6
just realized they're in the aging society and they cannot sustain that anymore. But the home I grew up was always cozy, small, and I was growing up in the generation where a lot of people make a lot of fortune by owning a house, similar to the baby boomers generations here in the U.S. So that gets into the deep mind of every person in my generation from China has the home ownership dream. If you look at the King County in Seattle, Asians has the highest percentage of home ownership across all the nation.
So what you saw growing up in China was a lot of people gained wealth through home ownership.
Yes.
And that has translated to coming over here.
Yes.
They see the value there. They see it there.
Yeah.
Here.
And also there's one thing to be called out is China was very, how to say that? It looks like a concrete jungles now because people live in the buildings, live in apartments because of the population density. So having a single family house was a rare thing. It's kind of very, very expensive living experience. That's why a lot of people, they move to Seattle. They don't look for condos. They don't look for townhouses. They look for single family houses in the suburbs.
Yeah. In China. Or here in this
here
area. That translates to here. So, but going back to China, you guys went from a condo, it sounds like, to a single family house.
No, we didn't. We will never.
It's just a
afford
3-bedroom.
A 3-bedroom.
So the houses were much more expensive there.
Yes, it was. But now the price value has decreased a lot, and because of China economy has gone through some turbulence. But in general, the people who made a lot of fortune, they make 10 times, 20 times of the values gain in the past 10 years. So even though the price go down by 30%, it's still very high.
They still had over time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a universal truth. Owning real estate is the path.
Exactly.
So tell me about teenage Wei. What did you do for fun?
I do a lot of sports, and I started very hard. Because of the population density, people are trying very hard to get into the college and get a higher education. And I spent most of my time studying, and the rest of times I did some swimming. I did ice skating in the winter times because
Okay.
it was readily
cold.
accessible. It's cold, and I was talking to my mom, and my mom said she taught me how to play basketball, how to play football as a starter. But not a lot of parents did that in the same time when I was growing up. So my mom was very proud. She spent a lot of time with me. And I was the only child. She doesn't
Mhm.
have anyone to spend time with.
Mhm.
So she sacrificed her work and play with me, and that really helps me to grow into a healthy lifestyle where I'm into now.
So your fitness and your feel for fitness came from your mom
Yes,
going outside, playing with you, teaching you how to play football. We're talking soccer football.
soccer, football.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Yeah, and basketball.
and basketball. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do now for fun and fitness?
I actually, as a, I like to shoot videos. I prepare the scripts and shoot videos of and post it on the YouTube. And I like when people say, "I learned so much from your videos." That's a big compliment to me. And the rest of the times I spend with my kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
They're at the age, especially my daughter. She's 3-year-old now. If I don't
Mm.
spend time with her, she becomes a little bit alienated with me.
Mm.
She doesn't want. She always wants mom. She doesn't always want me. So that makes me feel sad. So I want to spend more time with my kids.
Okay. So, but for fitness, you're chasing your kids around.
Yes, I'm actually chasing my kids around. My wife's a registered dietitian, University of Washington hospitals, and she knows how to keep fit on the diet side, and I follow very rigid kind of
What you eat.
recipe, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and also I do a lot of exercise, just like you, Dan.
Yeah.
You lost how much? 50 pounds?
Yeah, 50 pounds. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all food. Right?
Yeah.
So that's great. Your wife is a dietitian.
Yeah.
So you guys are never going to, well, maybe never get fat. Who knows?
We got pizza. We got a pizza Friday night.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. So Friday night's
Yeah.
pizza night
Yeah.
at the Lee household.
And my daughters, they're Asians, 100% Asians, but they like spaghettis, they like pizza, they like mac and cheese, mac and
Yeah.
yeah.
You said it right.
Yeah,
Mac and cheese.
mac and cheese. Yeah. So like, okay, I have to chase them on the healthier diet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, over time, I sometimes raising my kids, I could never get my son to eat anything but chicken nuggets. That was it. Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted. That's all he would eat. Even though we put the broccoli on the plate.
Oh, yeah. And broccoli is only leftover things afterwards.
Yeah. It's funny how it's like a universal thing with kids. They just don't like broccoli. I like it now.
Yeah.
I eat it almost every day.
Yeah. The more you eat it, the more you feel better. And there's I call that, it's a positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me about your journey to America. Like, when did you know or want to come here?
I always wanted to come to US because China was a big China had a lot of influence from the US cultures and US economies during the age I was growing up, and US had a very positive relationships for a long time. And when I graduated from the college, I studied mathematics, and I couldn't find a job in the mathematics, so I became a salesperson, and I founded a company myself, and I earned so much that I saved my tuition, came to the US for MBA.
What was that salesperson? What were you selling?
I was selling trademarks. I registered a lot of popular trademarks and sold them to the manufacturer plants in China. So like people do the domain names registration, they make money on that. I was doing similar things.
Similar things. So what's like a popular trademark that you sold?
It's actually not about popular. It's about the bureaucracy of registering trademarks takes about 3 years.
Oh.
And if you sell it, you instantly get it. So you can. I just registered a lot of those and
then resold them.
And resold them.
Because you went through the process and the time that it took, and now it was worth value.
I always have a business mindset and making a lot of money on the side of my study. Mm-hmm. And when I come to the US, I went to the Arizona State University as an MBA student. And right after that, I joined Microsoft in 2012. Mm-hmm. And the reason for me to choose Microsoft was because that was the only job I found. And Microsoft was not like today, because like stock price was only $30 at the time. And people are accusing Microsoft of being a IBM-ish type of old company.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot, and it gives me a job. It gives me a systematic thinking process. Gives me a lot of integrities of the business, how to operate honestly in US and across different cultures. That always stay with me.
So let's go back to that. So you're in university in
Arizona State.
So you moved to Tempe?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was your first educational visa. That was your first trip to the United States, right? What did you think after wanting to be here when you moved? What was
I came in the summertime. It was horrible in Arizona.
Hot.
And my first Christmas.
That's funny. You came from ice cold north to Arizona.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remembered my first impression was I don't sweat because it was so dry, and the moisture got saltinized quickly on your skin, so I don't sweat. Oh, and I have to put on a long sleeve jacket in the summer days so that I don't get cancer of the skin cancers. Of the extra burning. But my biggest fear was like during the Christmas there was no snow. It was very different from what I would imagine a Western world would look like on the Christmas. And I was driving down the road and listening to the radios and people chatting about, oh, it's getting snowed in New York now, and we're celebrating that. But it was 2012, and it was the bad time of economy, and barely any people on the road during the Christmas time. So that was a big shock to me for a long time. But I still like Arizona a lot. I own an Airbnb house in Scottsdale.
Oh, okay.
And it has been operating very well.
Did you buy it when you went to school?
No, I didn't. I didn't have enough money.
Oh, okay.
I bought it in 2021.
All right. So
I bought it for $700K, and my first year, the net operating income, the profit was about $130,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should talk about that in a bit. I want to talk about that too, because that's really good. 2021. So you get here in 2012. The heat's crazy. No traffic in the holidays. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
When did you move to Seattle?
I moved to Seattle right after. No, I actually came to the United States in 2010, and I graduated in 2012. And I moved to Seattle in 2012. Once I was graduated and found a job in Microsoft, I was a salesperson in Microsoft for 5 years.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
That was your role there.
That was my role.
And what did you sell?
I sell software.
I know, but which one?
I was selling enterprise software
Azure?
like both Azure and Office 365. We didn't separate. For the sales part of Microsoft, we go by the customers. Whatever customer wants to buy, we put them together for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like custom. You're doing enterprise sales, basically.
Yes, enterprise sales.
For 5 years.
For 5 years. And then I did 7 years, 6 years on product management.
Okay. So total of 11 years?
Yes, total of 11
And
years.
when did you say, hey, I want to get into real estate, and why?
I started to buy houses in 2015 because I see the market is bouncing back, and I had a person who told me for houses you can rent it out and have a positive cash flow eventually, and then you can roll it up and you have another one, so that in the end you can have 10 up to 10 still with the residential mortgage. And I followed that process rigidly, so I quickly get my properties up to 16 units, and I sold a bunch of those and kept only 8 now. And I made a fortune by having a positive cash flow.
And this is working at a salary at Microsoft.
Yes. I was using Microsoft salaries to pay the down payments.
Yeah.
And by 2023, I was doing real estate agents for almost 2 years, and I make so much more money than Microsoft paycheck. So I decided I'm going to quit. And my bottom line is actually because I make $10,000 to $15,000 positive cash flows every month. So it's my safety net. So I said, okay, I'm quitting.
So you've got the passive income coming, $10,000 to $15,000.
Yes.
Right now, you don't touch it. You got to maintain.
Still touch it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's a better way to put it. It's passive income majority wise.
Yes.
I mean, there's still a certain amount that you're probably looking at other opportunities that come along.
Yeah, there's one house. It's my own residence. I bought it in 2023 in the Woodinville downtown. That's the only one that's losing money because I pay. I
Because you
live
pay.
inside.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you found yourself doing real estate, and you were in real estate as well. Like you got your license,
Yeah.
and then you got to a spot. Well, hey, my passive income is paying my
Yeah.
my debts, anything that I owe there.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to do it full time. Why did you want to start selling full time instead of just keep doing what you're doing?
Well, that was because Microsoft had gone through a transition under the current leadership. They are no longer a very laid-back company, and the lifestyle has changed dramatically, especially after the AI took over. And I look at myself and I think AI will replace a lot of product managers and software engineers in the future. And this is a time for me to quit because I don't have the bandwidth to work with Microsoft, and Microsoft are not allowing me to kind of semi-work it or doing half-time working.
Right. Right. You got to be all in.
Yeah.
The culture has shifted into kind of a higher gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wanted to be able to, you see the flexibility. So tell me, somebody who, I talk to a lot of people that are kind of trying out real estate and they don't have the safety net. Right. So how would you advise them to make the transition eventually? How would you advise somebody like brand new in a situation where they're trapped in a corporate job, yet they want to kind of take a step out? What would you suggest?
I have a lot of colleagues in Microsoft who's doing the side jobs as real estate agents for a long time. And they probably close 1 or 2 transactions a year because friends' recommendations and referrals. I see this in this way. So if you firmly believe real estate is going to be help you to change your life and become a career for you, you have to give it a full chance. Like you have to give it a shot.
Full attention.
And especially like if a client is buying a house and he knows you are a part-time agent, I wouldn't trust you very much. And after I quit, actually I have accumulated a lot of resources everywhere because UW real estate departments asked me to give a class in UW, and that helps me to build my image. And also I've done a lot of developments recently because people trust me. I'm a full-time real estate agent, and people trust me. I'm putting my full endeavors in this. And if you don't think you're the right person for the real estate, then I would just do some referrals because referrals are way more powerful and less stressful. For example, if you're not full-time real estate agents, how are you going to be keeping up with all the new forms, the new regulations, and the new technologies, and showing people around? I would take your 25% referral fee. Is a better way to make money.
Yeah. Well, and I as your story unfolds and we're talking about it, like I can see where a passion for real estate started at a very young age. You saw it in China, right? And so you 100% believe in it and walk the walk by buying it yourself. But not just one home. You bought 16?
Yeah, about 16 doors.
Right, 16 doors yourself. So you're definitely walking the walk, and then put yourself financially in a situation where you can make that move.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to do it. And it's funny. I think it's something that you already know, like that it was like, no, this makes a whole lot of sense. And you're a very smart guy, MBA, all that stuff. So why do more people not make that move into real estate? And it's exactly what you said, is they're just not all in. So just be a referral agent.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of it. But if you look back at your life, would you say real estate has changed your life?
Of course, because I'm making a very decent income and allowing me to do a lot of investments on the side way. And I also get a flexible job so that I can stay with my kids. Although I have to work hardly over the weekends, and those are the times when my kids are mostly at home. But I'm trying to build a team.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I chose Keller Williams, because the systems allow me to build a team so that I'm trying to get away from showing houses over the weekends, and I'm on the way to achieve that. So it's very important.
Yeah. So let's talk about your brand, Homepedia. Why Homepedia?
So this is funny because people talk to me, says you're very insightful. You give a lot of astonishing concepts to us. You're like a teacher. And I started to use a teacher as my brand name in Chinese. And then when I try to find a
What's
brand,
that? Tell me what that is.
what is the teacher? The
Yeah.
Chinese brand name?
Yeah.
西城李老师, Seattle Teacher Li. That's
Okay.
my brand name. And when I try to find a business name for it, and I thought, okay, I'm a encyclopedia person. You can find all the information related to real estate with me. That's why I called it Homepedia.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you're like a encyclopedia, which is what you said earlier. You said, I love making videos and educating people.
Yeah.
And that's really what your brand has been, is you're educating people.
Yes, I do videos talking about a specific topic. For example, I can be talking about modular build of developments for an hour on video. And I don't usually took a video of showing the house around. For example, open house video, not like many agents where they started by shooting a beautiful house and says, oh, this house is beautiful. Look at the open ceiling, look at the windows, look at the backyard. I tend to have a topic I want to talk about. For example, not many Chinese people know septic tank because it's a rare thing to have in China.
Oh, okay.
China is always public sewer. And when they come here, they look at septic tank, they think, oh, that's something hard, and I don't know how to maintain that. I want to avoid it. But a lot of good houses are built on the septic tank. So I took a video explaining what is septic tank, the pros and cons, how to maintain that, how much it costs to maintain. And that video becomes viral because after I took the video for 2 years, there are still people coming to me says, I wanted to have you representing us because you seem knowledgeable.
Yeah. And that's because you are. It's not that you seem knowledgeable. You are. Like, you've done the work. You dug in there and said, okay, what's something that somebody has a question on?
Yeah.
And are you targeting people that are looking for more information? Your team is kind of, you've started to grow that. And the reason you did that, and you alluded to that, is you want to have that relationship with your daughter and your son, of course, right?
Yeah.
And to be present, be there. And it's not about making more money, although that's the goal, right? When you add leverage, but it's also having time in your life. So what's the goal with the team? What's the makeup and why?
So I have 2 people on my team. They can be the buyer agents, they can be the seller agents, they can be any roles because they're very experienced. And I only hire very experienced people, and I call them my partners. I never call them my team members because they are my partners. They help me to shape the culture. They make decisions of where we're going, and they make decisions if they want to take the clients or not. They have a lot to say. And I share my profits very generously with them, so they're making as much money as I do.
Well, you have 2 broker partners.
I have 2 broker partners,
but you also have more support.
I have a marketing and personal assistant person. She's the best I hired, and she's very self-driven. She's very knowledgeable. She always finds work to do. She's self-starter, and even my friends are approaching me, says, can I borrow her for a while, because she seems like a very good person on the marketing side. And she also served as my assistant as well.
Yeah, I have to tell you, that right-hand person like that is so important when building a team.
Yeah.
Because you can only do so much. And when you have somebody there, and also we have a process called career visioning that we used, right? To kind of find out, is this person a good fit for that role? And then going through and getting to know them. So I'm glad she's doing great.
I actually used Keller Williams, a lot of resources from Keller Williams to interview her. We have the personality check that helps a lot. And also having a lot of you interviewing her to give your thoughts. I don't hire many people. I didn't hire many people in Microsoft, and so I don't have a very good experience of building a large team. My first hire was a bad move, and she left after a month, and she didn't want to do this, and I guess because in 2023 when I first hired, a lot of Chinese are eyeing at very high paid jobs as software engineers, but now like software engineers are losing their jobs. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so and finding jobs is really hard. So I got a chance to choose a very good person to work with me.
Nice. Okay, we got time for like 2 more topics. I was thinking about AI and the future of real estate, or we could talk about how to make housing more affordable. What do you think as a professional? So where would you like to go there?
I want to go with the AI, and
Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk about that. So where do you see that? Because like you said, at Microsoft, there's a lot of people getting replaced by AI, but what about the real estate agent?
I think depends on what value you offer. If you're just showing people around, like opening the house, opening the door, that's very low value. So, for example, I do 7 layers of services to my clients. The bottom one is to do a very just to open the doors, and that for you can rather than only pay $60 per door to open up. It's not, if you see 100 houses, you're only worth about
that's ridiculous,
$6,000.
Yeah.
But then you got to be able to write an offer that is protecting your clients on the buyer side.
Yep.
A lot of agents, they don't even know how to write offers. It's just from the company, like a older person just tell her, oh, just check this box, and they never understand why you check this box. That's why Keller Williams is a good aid, because we have phone classes. We want to make sure people are not freely writing a wrong contract and not representing the desires of the clients. And also there are cases where seller contract, for example, a seller financing contract, how do you write that up? If you don't write it all day long, you don't know how to do it, and you forget it. So having a very strong designated broker actually helps us a lot to help to achieve the goal. And I have to say, Brian AC of our office is such an amazing person, and I like him a lot. He's the designated broker here. And also you provide values of I know it's not the role for the real estate agents to read the title reports, preliminary commitments. But if you have your clients turn to a lawyer, it takes about 5 days to read that preliminary commitments and tell you, no, nothing should be worried about. So I trained myself to learn the basics of that, and I shared it with my clients about my findings. And sometimes they don't need a green light, they need a red light. So for example, if they're building a fence and there's a strong CCNR not allowing to build a fence in 20 feet setback, and that CCNR a lot of times in the record, they're like in the 50s or in the old days when they write up that thing, and that image becomes so blurry, it's not be able to read by AI. It has to be a human brain decipher that. So that's not going to be replaced by the AI very shortly. So, but in general, I think a lot of things will be replaced by the AI, and a lot of the lower end agents. When I say lower end, I'm not saying your abilities lower. Is the service you provide is like easy to be replaced. They're going to be losing jobs, and as a result, so only the top like Terry Foster is not going to be losing jobs because she serves the richest clients, and there's a small circle, and she always has the pocket listing and always have a pocket clients. Those are not going to be losing the relationship side. Your clientele base is going to help you to be longer sustainable in this real estate business.
It's about stacking service, right? Not just one thing, but stacking services. And for a long time, they've said, technology, you can just go ahead and click and buy a house. It's just not the same thing. There's so much legal stuff involved, and not just legal, but interpreting it. Right. Experience. And, I don't know that can be replicated. I don't know, maybe 30 years from now, something like that. I don't know, but I don't think so.
I trust technologies to be faster because we're in the accelerating era. Probably in the past, it takes 30 years, but now it probably takes 10 years. But even making 10 years of extra money helps you to be in the better positions when we enter UBI. So my hope of the future is we're all going to lose jobs, and nobody's keeping a job. And universal basic income becomes a prevalent situations for everyone. And then you get $10,000 from the government. I get $10,000 from government. But if I have a house that generates another $2,000 for me, I can spend $2,000 more than you, and I live a more comfortable life. That's why we're all rushing to the deadline, which is the starting point of the UBI. But the more you make, the more savings you have before entering into that era, your more comfortable situations.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. From a standpoint of the robots will be doing all the work, therefore it won't be things that we have to get paid for. So there's got to be some way to make up for that. Is that what that means?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. So let's talk about the housing thing.
Yeah.
Where do you see the market headed? Why should somebody buy? Why should somebody sell?
I'm seeing so basically I'm looking at the house price in a way where for the long term, in the next 10 years, the housing price is dictated by the population inflow. And in the midterm, like 5 years, is based on the scarcity of land and supply. And in the short term, it's about local policies. For example, if 4 or 5 is expanding another lane, the traffic will be improved significantly. So Newcastle and Renton will be like rising their house prices. A lot of people talk to me that says software engineers are losing their jobs in Microsoft and Amazon and in Seattle in general. So we are going to be having a lot smaller influx of people in the next few years. I agree with that.
You do.
I actually think 80% of the software engineers will lose their jobs. It's a huge population. However, software engineers only counts for 5% of the total population in the greater Seattle areas. We have 4 million people, and we have 200,000 software engineers. And a larger inflow of the population actually comes from two ends. One is the Seattle is getting warmer and warmer, and thanks to the global warming, Seattle is entering its gold era. We're no longer 9 months in the rain, and a lot of the retirement people, they are actually looking at Seattle to be their retirement place. For example, Edmonds has a steadily grow of 65 plus people in their portfolio of population, and there are actually 25% of 65 people among all the residents in Edmonds. It's super high because the national average is about 13 to 15%. Wow. These older people, this baby boomer generation, they used to live to Arizona, but Arizona is becoming too hot, and Texas is becoming too hot, and a lot of natural disasters going there. So they decided they want to stay in Seattle. And a lot of the Midwest people and the East Coast people, they actually moved to Seattle for their retirements. Secondly, is the global immigrants that's filling up Seattle markets because Seattle is the closest stop in the U.S. From Asian countries. Right. So a lot of Asians are moving to Seattle, and Seattle is an Asian-friendly place.
Well, it has been for a very long time. Right.
Since even before I think it's even in the World War I, Seattle has been welcoming Japanese and Chinese immigrants. So
even in the late 1800s. Build railroads and all that stuff. Yep.
So a lot of people are moving in from Southeast Asia, from Asian, and China has a lot of outflow of the rich people, and these people are moving to the U.S., are moving to Seattle. And they used to be looking at Los Angeles and San Francisco as the first choices, but now they're taking Seattle as the first one. One of the reasons is because a lot of the Amazon sellers, these companies, they sell like cell phone holders on Amazon. They are manufacturing in China, and they used to live in China and US on both sides. So they spend 3 months in the US every year, and they have a green card. But now, because of the China and US relations getting tighter, they are forced to pick a side. And when they move to US, they of course choose Seattle because it's the closest to their headquarters of Amazon, to their business. They wanted to know some vice president of Amazon and get some insider news. So even in Shenzhen alone, is one of the manufacturer hubs in China. There are 200,000 people are considering to move to Seattle. And these are the people who are buying $2 to $4 million houses when they move here. Wow. They're like the people who make million a year in the past, or $3 million a year in the past. So it's a big wave of people who are moving to Seattle. So I see the influx of population continuing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the perspective, because you started with, those software engineers are going to lose their job. But also there's another one to take their place, right? So software engineers need to become different type of engineers, maybe.
Absolutely.
I mean, they've got that mindset, right?
Yeah. They're
So,
smart.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. There's a lot of manufacturing, utilities, that kind of stuff. I believe we're going to have a boom in energy production, because we're going to need energy production for AI.
Yeah.
So we're going to,
computing power is currency.
Yeah. And, the Northwest, we've got all this hydroelectric power that we use. What is it? Quincy. Yeah. That area has the fastest pipeline in on the West Coast. And so I know a lot of data centers are out there right now.
Microsoft has a big data centers in Quincy.
Yeah. And they'll probably increase and do more.
Yeah.
So, well, wow, this is cool. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed getting like a deeper conversation with you and learning about you. What I'd love to close with is, I know the weekend is real estate time.
Yeah.
But when you do decide to go out and enjoy this beautiful weather, what do you guys do?
I take my daughters and son to the beach, Honita Beach and Kenmore Beach. Digging sands are most fun for the little kids. And I booked a trip in August to the Pacific Beach, Ocean Shores.
Yeah.
So we found a beachfront house, and all we're gonna do for 3 days is digging sand. Yeah,
you get it everywhere.
Yeah,
it's all in the car and everything.
Yes. We're ready for that. Yeah,
awesome, very good. Well, thank you for your time, Wei. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
This was great to do, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.